All right, y'all. So I saw this headline and I was like, I gotta bring it to the girls. Trump apparently shocked everyone and stormed out of court. Shocked even his Secret Service. They was chasing after him. It was a mess. Let's talk about it. CNBC says Trump storms out of fraud trial after judge clashes with his attorneys, fines him $10,000 for violating gag order. Let's skip around here. The visibly angry former president's sudden departure elicited gasps from the courtroom. Oh my God, we're so shocked that this, man baby would act like a man baby. Elicited gasps from the courtroom and sent his own Secret Service agents chasing after him, NBC News reported. Trump left while Michael Cohen, his former personal lawyer who is a star witness against him in the case, was still on the stand. Cohen, under cross-examination, said he did not recall if Trump had asked him to inflate the values of his assets on financial records at the heart of the civil case. This was the moment when Trump's lawyer then asked the judge for a directed verdict based off of what Michael Cohen has said. Now, a directed verdict simply means that the defense, Trump, is asking the court to direct a verdict in favor of the defendant on all or some of the allegations. So from my understanding, Trump's lawyers were like, all right, look, Michael Cohen says he can't recall if Trump asked him to do this shit. Let's just get this bitch out of here. He's not credible. Let us win the case. That's basically, from my understanding, what they asked the judge. But the judge denied that shit. It was just like, girl, get the fuck out. The judge denied that shit. And Trump immediately got up and left. That's when he left. Now, while Trump was absent, Michael Cohen clarified what he meant. He said that while Trump did not explicitly tell him to inflate the numbers, he communicated the outcome he wanted. Trump speaks like a mob boss, Cohen explained. Trump later walked back into the courtroom, and his attorney again asked the judge for a directed verdict. And the judge said, absolutely not. Telling the attorney there's enough evidence in this case to fill the courtroom. He said, you out your goddamn mind. If you don't get that bullshit out my face. Okay, so let's get some more details on the gag order, right? So shortly before the events we just talked about, the judge fined Trump $10,000 for once again violating a gag order, barring him from targeting the judge's staff. Listen to this shit. The judge had summoned Trump to the witness stand to explain his comments he made outside the courtroom earlier in the day when he complained about a very partisan judge with a person who's very partisan sitting alongside him, perhaps even much more partisan than he is. The judge took that as a reference to his law clerk, Allison Greenfield, who sits next to him in court. Keep in mind that Trump had previously been barred from making public statements about the judge's staff after he sent social media posts attacking Greenfield on the second day of the trial. Under questioning from the judge about his latest remarks, Trump said that he was actually referring to Michael Cohen, who's been testifying throughout the trial day, but the judge called bullshit. Like, girl, no, I actually wasn't talking about that person that I was talking about before so bad that you had to, give my ass a gag order. The same exact person who's sitting next to you, even though I said sitting next to you in the fucking statement. No, I was talking about Michael Cohen. Girl, judge called bullshit. And also, apparently, when Trump was called up to the stand to explain his comments, he did lie, of course, and say that he was referring to Cohen. But after he said that, he couldn't help himself. He said, well, the clerk is partisan. He's like, well, essentially, he was saying, well, girl, I wasn't talking about her at all. I was talking about Michael Cohen, but if I was talking about this clerk, would I be wrong? Like, he just cannot help himself. So the judge told him, don't do it again or it will be worse. And then he issued the fine. So apparently this is the second time in the trial that Trump has been fined for violating a gag order. The judge fined Trump $5,000 last week, warning that future violations could carry much more severe sanctions, including imprisonment. And in my head, I'm like, y'all need to just skip to the more severe sanctions, because I don't think that Trump cares about these goddamn fines. I don't think that Trump cares about these goddamn fines. He's just going to continue to run his mouth. I mean, he could not even help himself when he got on the stand. We already knew who he was talking about, But he couldn't even commit to the lie like, okay, yes, it was Michael Cohen. He couldn't just leave it at that. He had to go on and say, well, girl, I know y'all don't want me to talk. I mean, obviously he didn't say this verbatim, but he was just like, girl, I know you don't want me to talk about this goddamn clerk, but she is part of this. She is part of it, so I don't know what y'all want me to say. What you want me to say? I can only imagine him doing that annoying ass thing that he do with his mouth after he say something stupid. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. That annoying ass shrug with I just imagine him doing that shit. Now we'll read just a little bit more and then we'll stop. They talk about Cohen's credibility here. The dramatic developments came at the end of an already contentious second day of testimony from Cohen, who faced a barrage of attacks about his credibility as a witness. Trump and his legal team had spent much of the previous trial day targeting Cohen's criminal history, attempting to paint him as a serial liar whose words could not be trusted. Trump doubled down on Wednesday during a mid-morning break, saying Cohen went to jail for lying and tried to brand him as a totally discredited witness. The Attorney General case accuses Trump, his 2 adult sons, the Trump Organization, and top executives of falsely inflating the values of Trump's real estate properties and other assets in order to get tax benefits and better loan terms. Of course, the AG is seeking around $250 million in damages, and she wants to bar Trump and his co-defendants from running another business in New York. I feel like, yeah, can we do that so we don't have to hear about none of this shit again? Even though we will, inevitably we will. Now, my thing is like, I'd be gagged. I'm just like, so you can really just get your ass up out of court? Y'all just let this man walk up out of court? I'm just like, I just be wondering that it's very interesting to watch what certain people can get away with and what others can't. Cause I'm just like, he just got his ass up and left. He just stormed out. This man-child was hearing things that he did not like to hear. And he just got his ass up and said, you know what? I don't have to fucking deal with this shit. I'm Donald Trump. I don't have to deal with this shit. And he did. And so that's kind of what makes me very nervous, right? Is that like, we can have fun talking about these cases and talking about his reactions to things, whatever. We can kiki and have a good time. But at the end of the day, sometimes it just feels like he's doing whatever he wants. You know, I don't understand how this much heat can come against him and he's still allowed to run for president. Like he really could be elected after all this shit. I mean, right? Unless he goes to jail. Like, how does that even work? I just hate that. I don't know. Like, I hate that these things are even allowed. I hate that I just hate the way that the court system laws, this world is totally different for different kinds of people. For if you got Cohen, you a politician or not, you based off your race, everything. I just hate how literally it's just a different world. Cause bitch, you storming out the court and talking to reporters and shit, doing whatever the fuck. It's just like, I don't know. I hate it. Trump has been impeached twice. He's the only federal officer to be impeached more than one time. So I mean, I really hope y'all get him because he running out y'all courtrooms and shit. Like, I don't know what it's gonna take because y'all seem to have a lot of issues pinning him down. Get him out my face. Anyway, on that note, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening. Holy worship me, yeah, you can blow me. I ain't the only, you so lonely, insecure, they don't control me. I ain't the only, holy worship me, yeah, you can blow me. I ain't the only, you so lonely, insecure.